I'm with Charles Waldheim of the University of Toronto, who was the moderator on a panel which included architects like Stephen Kieran and Lance Hovey of McDonough and Associates. And Charles asked the question about the future of automobility, and the panelists were surprisingly blasé. And I wanted your opinion on that.
Well, first of all, the organization of the conference, Lloyd, with respect to urban form after peak oil, raises a whole host of questions, globally, locally, and this panel focused primarily on building and landscape design, and primarily in the North American context. Much of the discourse over the last day and a half, and moving into tomorrow, focuses on the question of urban form after peak oil, and the question in my mind would be for us, is that necessarily the end of automobility? And I think for many urban designers and planners, and many advocates of denser, more traditional urban form, there's been a correlation that assumes post-peak oil is post-automobility. Yet in the North American context, I find designers and urbanists who are arguing that in fact there may be a form of automobility which is carbon neutral, or at least the consequential effects of carbon are mitigated. And I think that's a key question as questions of urban form as we debate them here. I think you see it here in the work certainly of Steve Kieran, his firm, Kieran Timberlake of Philadelphia. They've had a very long-standing relationship of looking at other industries and the way that they deliver product, and also their literacy with the automobile industry gives them some kind of credibility with respect to these questions. Kieran's point here, I think, was essentially to argue that he imagines that there will be a set of bridging technologies, that is, more kind of carbon sequestration, carbon neutrality, but automobility might persist. And at that same context, we might imagine the suburban communities, the 905 in Toronto, or the suburban communities in US cities, being retrofitted, reorganized to accommodate pedestrian activity, walking, bikes, smart cars and car shares, and these kinds of things, and then converting the lawn, the traditional suburban lawn, into a productive landscape. So taken as a whole, it's a fairly radical vision, but stated in maybe incremental terms.
Thank you very much.